As we know, celebrity breakups can get really nasty, but celebrity friendship breakups can be just as messy. And at number 10, Rihanna and Katy Perry. Rihanna and Katy Perry used to be the best of friends and were constantly seen out together. But that all changed when men got involved. Apparently, the long friendship ended after Rihanna decided to get back with Chris Brown, who had left her with bruises on her face. I'm sure you all know the story. And of course, an incident like that would worry any good friend. After Rihanna decided to get back with him, Perry told Marie Claire, quote, "I didn't reach out to her after the incident." But Katy is not the only one that threw some shade. After Katy got flack for dating John Mayer after her divorce, Rihanna commented on that relationship, telling the Observer, quote, "Katy Perry can date anyone she wants. I could never give relationship advice to anybody." Clearly, the subtext of that is her dating Chris Brown. But that's not all. It seems that Katy might have tried to mend things when she said Rihanna is one of her dream American Idol judges. But Rihanna savagely responded to that, saying, quote, "I don't know, depends how bored I am." And yikes, if that isn't shady, I do not know what is. And at number 9, Nicole Richie and Paris Hilton. These two were huge stars back in the day, starring together in the hit reality show The Simple Life, because they had been best friends since childhood. But the relationship eventually fizzled out. Richie claims they just grew apart, but Hilton blamed the tension on Richie, claiming that the relationship fell apart because Nicole did something bad. Paris said, quote, "Nicole knows what she did, and that's all I'm ever gonna say about it." The two ended up reconciling enough to film the last season of The Simple Life, but after that they didn't talk again for years. In 2014, Richie revealed that she hadn't talked to Paris in years, but apparently they reconciled in 2018 and have been friendly since. And at number 8, Demi Lovato and Selena Gomez. These two were friends ever since they started acting as children on Barney and Friends. They became even closer when they both turned into Disney Channel stars as teenagers. But over the years, the relationship between the two of them seems to be getting worse. The jealousy started when Selena started hanging out with other celebrities like Taylor Swift. This then led to the friends unfollowing and refollowing each other countless times over the years on social media. Once after Demi unfollowed Selena, she tweeted out, quote, "Swimming away from the BS. Bye, bitch." It seems that over the years, Selena has tried to support Demi and become cordial with her, but Demi never reciprocates. A few years ago, a Finsta belonging to Demi was found that bashed Selena on multiple occasions. But apparently that turned out to be fake. We don't really know exactly what happened between these two, but they are definitely not friends at this moment. And at number 7, Heidi Montag and Lauren Conrad. Heidi and Lauren were stars on the MTV reality show The Hills, but their friendship ended very publicly after Perez Hilton broke a nasty story. Apparently, Heidi Montag and boyfriend Spencer Pratt spread a rumor that Lauren Conrad had made an intimate tape with her boyfriend Jason Whaler. After hearing the rumor spread, Conrad responded saying, quote, "We did not make a tape. Jason and I are both shocked and hurt that people would say such horrible things about us. I can't believe that somebody would go to such great lengths to try and damage my reputation." After all that, Lauren didn't want to see Heidi or Spencer, but they were contractually obligated to film the 3rd season of the show. This caused the now infamous confrontation that was caught on camera. In March of 2016, Montag tried to reconnect, but it didn't work out. And she said, quote, "We're not friends. It's kind of awkward." And at number 6, Drake Bell and Josh Peck. These two were best friends on and off screen when they acted alongside each other on The Amanda Show, which led to them getting their own hit show, Drake and Josh. The duo seemed to remain friends after their childhood stardom, but things went sour when Josh Peck got married. After Josh posted a picture of his wedding in 2017, Bell called him out for not inviting him. Bell tweeted, quote, "True colors have come out today. Message is loud and clear. Ties are officially cut. I'll miss you, brother." And in case you weren't sure if he was tweeting about the wedding, he also tweeted out that when you aren't invited to the wedding, the message is clear. After the story went viral, Josh responded that he was deeply hurt by Bell's tweets, but he also clarified that the two hadn't been friends for years. Halfway at number 5, Gwyneth Paltrow and Winona Ryder. These two were the best of friends in the 90s. They even lived together for many years and went on tons of double dates while the two of them were dating BFFs Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. But it all ended when a movie role came between the two of them. When Ryder was auditioning for Shakespeare in Love, Paltrow took the script that was at their house and auditioned for the part as well. Paltrow ended up getting the part and even ended up winning Best Actress at the Oscars for the role. But it seems that their feud isn't even close to over. Many years later, when Ryder was caught shoplifting, Paltrow posted a shady statement to her blog, writing, quote, "Back in the day, I had a frenemy who was pretty hell-bent on taking me down. I restrained myself from fighting back. I tried to take the high road, but one day I heard that something unfortunate and humiliating dating had happened to this person. And my reaction was deep relief and happiness. And that's just crazy to me because if the story played out like I just reported, then I'm not sure why Gwyneth Paltrow would be the one that was mad, considering she stole the role from Winona, but I mean, maybe more happened than we know. And at number 4, Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker. Sex and the City is one of the greatest shows ever, in my opinion. And one of the reasons why it's so great was because of the bond between the women. They seemed like such good friends on screen, and we all assumed that they were besties in real life too, which a lot of the ladies claimed was the case in interviews while they were filming. But many years after the series ended and Kim Cattrall refused to do a third movie, the real story seemed to come out. After the tragic death of Cattrall's brother, Parker wrote a short message of condolence to her former co-star, but Cattrall responded with anger, writing, quote, "Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of how cruel you really were then and now. Let me make this very clear. You are not my friend. So I'm writing to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona." Since then, Cattrall has been open that she was never friends with her castmates. In at number 3, Jay-Z and Kanye West. These two rappers are some of the most successful ever, which helped them form a close bond. But their falling out was so nasty it made headlines pretty much everywhere. It all started when Kanye was performing at a concert and he went off on a rant against Jay-Z, where he was calling him out for abandoning his family after Kim's Paris robbery. At one point, Kanye said, quote, "Don't call me after the robbery and say how you feeling. You want to know how I'm feeling? Come by the house. Bring the kids by the house like we're brothers. Let's sit down." Jay-Z responded to the rant on his album 444, where he rapped that Kanye needed to stop his F everybody attitude and look in the mirror because the problem isn't other people but Kanye himself. And at number 2, Seth Rogen and James Franco. Seth Rogen and James Franco have collaborated on countless movies together, and they've been friends and collaborators since the beginning of their careers. However, Seth Rogen recently stated that he's no longer planning to collaborate with James Franco after multiple accusations of misconduct against women on the set of his movies. These allegations started in 2018 when multiple women came forward. Rogen continued working with him after that, but he said he's now changed his mind. When Rogen was asked about his friendship with Franco, he didn't really give a straight answer, but said, quote, "I don't know if I can define that right now. During this interview, I can say that, it's changed many things in our relationship and our dynamic." And wow, thankfully he did the right thing there, but I'm sure that must have been really hard. And finally, number 1, Kylie Jenner and Jordan Woods. I'm sure you all know how this one went down. Kylie and Jordan were besties since childhood, and they grew up doing practically everything together. They even lived together as adults. And Jordan starred in Kylie's reality series, Life of Kylie. Their relationship even gave Jordan employment opportunities with the family, including modeling opportunities with Khloe's clothing line. But that all changed after Jordan hooked up with Tristan Thompson, Khloe's baby daddy and boyfriend at the time. The whole thing was an absolute mess, and as a result, Jordan was cut from the family, including her friendship with Kylie ending. Jordan ended up going on Red Table Talk and claiming that the interaction she had with Tristan was small, but Khloe called her out on Twitter as a liar and claimed that it was much more. As of now, the relationship is still very tense. Celebrity friendships don't always last, and it's even harder to bear when the public falls in love with the friendship too. In at number 10, Katy Perry and Taylor Swift. These two used to be really close. Taylor even shared a sweet message for Katy's birthday on Twitter, writing, quote, "At Katy Perry knows how to throw a birthday party. Best ever. Happy B-Day, pretty girl." But that all changed when Taylor released the hit song Bad Blood about a friendship ending. It was never confirmed that the song was about Katy, but we all knew. Apparently the feud was because of backup dancers, and Swift said, quote, "She tried to hire a bunch of people out from under me, and I'm unsurprisingly non-confrontational, so now I have to avoid her." Katy clapped back on Twitter, writing, quote, "Watch out for the Regina George in sheep's clothing." And at number 9, Heather Locklear and Denise Richards. This one is a case of a man coming between friends. Heather and Denise used to be best friends many years ago. Their husbands were even friends too, as they both had bad boy personas in Hollywood. Denise Richards was with Charlie Sheen, and Heather Locklear was with Bon Jovi guitarist Richie Sambora. However, in 2006, both couples got divorced. Apparently around this time, the ladies also stopped being friends, and Denise Richards and Richie Sambora started dating, which is of course a major girl code violation. In a Red Book interview, Richards claimed that she wasn't speaking with Locklear when she got with Sambora, and claimed if she had still been friends with her, she wouldn't have gotten with her ex. In at number 8, Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is now a household name because of Paris Hilton. Paris and Kim were friends way back when Kim was a nobody, and Paris was a massive star. Kim was even on a few episodes of The Simple Life. Apparently, these two bonded after Paris had a falling out with her BFF at the time, Nicole Richie. However, after Kim and her family got a show and started to become very famous in their own right, Kim and Paris had a falling out. Rumor has it that Paris cut Kim off after learning that she used her sex tape to launch her career, basically copying what happened to Paris. And at number 7, the Kardashians and Larsa Pippen. If there's one thing to know about the Kardashians, they keep their circle very small, and once you break their trust, it's over. Kim and the rest of the family have been friends with Larsa for decades, but all of a sudden in 2020, the Kardashians and Larsa unfollowed each other on social media, making it clear that they were not friends anymore. After rumors started swirling, Larsa claimed nothing bad happened and it was just a falling out. However, months later, she spilled some tea on a podcast, saying that Kanye was probably the reason for the falling out. Apparently, he used to call Larsa at 3 and 4 in the morning and rant to her, but it got too much, so she decided to block him. Larsa even said at one point that the Kardashians choose men over their friends. And at number 6, Jennifer Aniston and Chelsea Handler. These two were practically best friends for 15 years. Handler was so close with Aniston that she was one of the few people invited to her intimate wedding ceremony with Justin Theroux. But apparently things went south after Handler spoke to the press about Aniston's relationships without her approval. The comments were about Aniston's relationship with Theroux, as well as Handler's feelings about Brangelina and that whole fiasco. Chelsea, of course, was defending her friend, but Aniston didn't see it that way and immediately cut ties. As a result of the blow-up between the two, Handler was also dropped by their joint publicist, who took Aniston's side. It's hard to know if Aniston might have been overreacting here, or if there was just more to the story. Halfway at number 5, Bill Murray and Harold Ramis. This friendship not only created a close bond between the pair, but it also created comedy gold for us all to enjoy. But apparently their work together is what ended up breaking their friendship. The two worked together on the hit movie Groundhog Day, and apparently they had a difference of opinion on the comedy. Murray wanted the comedy in the film to be dark and edgy, while Ramis wanted it to be more commercial. Their butting heads also delayed the project. Even though the film was a success, the two didn't speak for decades after. However, they were able to mend things before Ramis passed in 2014, and Murray even sung his praises in the eulogy. And at number 4, Jennifer Lopez and Eva Longoria. These two were great friends for many years, until Lopez's divorce from her third husband, Mark Anthony. After their divorce, Eva and Jennifer had a falling out. According to sources from Life and Style, Longoria seemed to take Mark Anthony's side in the split and consoled him after the breakup, which of course is a huge betrayal. To make things worse, tabloids also published a photo of Longoria and Anthony hanging out after the breakup, where Longoria was sitting on his lap in Vegas. To make things even worse than that, the photos were taken only months after Lopez gave birth to her twins. J-Lo apparently also had a falling out with Victoria Beckham around the same time because of this divorce. And to this day, Beckham and Longoria are still friends. So maybe there was more to the story than we know. And at number 3, Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell. Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell first got close because they were both Nickelodeon stars in the 90s and started their own show called Kenan and Kel. But their friendship didn't last. In 2012, Mitchell told TMZ that Thompson hadn't spoke to him in years, saying, quote, "The truth is Kenan doesn't want to be seen with me in any form or media, or even have my name mentioned around him. I respect his choice for wanting to make a name for himself solo. I know the fans love the show and would love to see some type of appearance with us." However, shortly after that, the two actually reconciled in a long phone call, and they reprised their Good Burger sketch on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and now the pair actually work as executive producers on the All That revival. And at number 2, Tiffany Thiessen and Jenny Garth. Tiffany and Jenny met on the set of Beverly Hills 90210, and even though they became good friends later on, they didn't click at first. According to Thiessen, Garth wasn't very nice when they first met, but over time that changed and the two practically became best friends. They were so close that Thiessen was even in the delivery room when Garth had her first child, but sadly the two ended up having a falling out, and to this day nobody knows exactly why. Tiffany once spoke out about their feud and blamed Garth, saying in 2012, quote, "We had a falling out and we just grew apart. I was the one who was hurt, let's just say that." And finally, at number 1, Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera. These blonde bombshells were friends since childhood because their careers shared similar trajectories. They were co-workers as children on the Mickey Mouse Club. Then as teenagers, they both turned into pop stars around the same time. The feud between them came in 2003 after they were gearing up for a performance together. Aguilera said at the time, quote, "Britney seems to me like a lost little girl, someone who desperately needs guidance. Spears clapped back saying, quote, "A lost girl? I think it's probably the other way around. I can't believe she said that about me." When someone has been rude to you so many times, it's like, you know what, Christina? I'm really not about the fake anymore. So clearly this was an incredibly public blowout. Christina later spoke about the feud, saying their paths will continue to cross, but it didn't sound like they had made up.